Hey everybody, welcome to Woodbrew. My name is Dylan, and today we thought we would do a shop tour because we have got some really exciting news and big changes that are going to be happening in our shop. We decided it's a good time to go ahead and show y'all what it's like now before all these changes happen, and hopefully in the future we'll do another shop tour that shows everything that has changed. Directly through this door is our office, and if you haven't seen it before, go check out our Woodbrew Life channel. We show that office all the time, and that it's a vlog series. There'll be a link in the description below. Directly inside the front door, we have a sign from our very first business here. We have our saw blade key rack. We've made a video about this. There is our apron on it, our glasses, some of our paintbrushes, stuff like that. It's a really great addition. It makes you also not leave anything in here whenever you're leaving, like lock yourself out and stuff like that.
Here's a shelf with all of our paints. We have our chalk paints, spray paints, all of our finishes and wax, and then our regular paints, and then all of our stains, which has every shade of brown in it.
So here's where all the exciting stuff starts to happen. This used to be a catch-all bench, and now it is finally turned into the ultimate and just most amazing lathe stand with everything we need. Rockler has come on board with this channel and has graciously supplied us with so many things. It is really unbelievable. We'd never expected this kind of support, and we are just so grateful for everything that they have done for us and everything that they do for this community. So you're probably going to be seeing a lot more Rockler stuff in our videos, and we are very excited about that as well. We cannot wait to expand our knowledge and grow our creativity and make more and more things because of what they've supplied us with. So here's our lathe station now. That's something new. Here is a cabinet that has all of our sandpapers. Anything abrasive goes in there for both disc sanders, orbital sanders, belt sanders, any angle grinders, stuff like that. Here are some very large pipe clamps. This very long one, I believe, is 10 feet long. That is what we use for breadboard ends because you have to stretch the full length of the table. Here are just some plastic sawhorses, which are great when you're halfway through a project and you need to set something aside.
Here's our cabinet that we just like to throw things in that we don't use that much. Like, we have all of our chemicals, and this is just a random shelf with our tape, trash bags, gloves, and masks. And this shelf is dedicated to all of our paint supplies like brushes and rollers and paint stirrers, and then that bottom shelf is just our crap shelf. Okay, here is a bunch of fence boards that someone has given us that we kind of really need to get rid of, but we're only going to keep like maybe this much possibly for future projects, but we really need to get rid of it because it's taking up a lot of space. This is a refinishing gig that I'm supposed to be doing and we need to do in the next couple of days. You gonna do this?
Yep. So here's our metal working station. It's set up fairly well but needs some work. We've got a decently solid workbench with some sheet metal on it to ground to. We have our mask hung up in the corner. We have this piece of plywood up here for sparks to hit. We've got our disc sander, which kind of floats around the shop depending on what we're using it for. We've got these really great clamping pieces so that if you have to put two pieces of metal together, such as these two, you can clamp those two pieces to this and make the weld and keep it square even after the weld is cooled. Up here we keep our angle grinder on this handy little cleat thing here. We have this really cool propane bottle holder. It's really handy. It keeps you from knocking your propane over. We have this massive Rock Island vise that has not been mounted yet, but we've actually enjoyed it not being mounted. We've been able to move it around. It's so heavy you can clamp stuff with its own weight. Yeah, I restored this one. We got it from a yard sale for like 40 bucks or something crazy. Down below is just random metal storage, and directly to the left of the workbench is our Hobart 140 MIG that's not set up on gas yet. It's just flux core, but this has been a wonderful welder that we also got really cheaply off of Craigslist.
This is a chest that Dylan built maybe a year or so ago when he was still in his parents', well, under his parents' house, that we just put whatever in that we don't use. Here is our lumber storage. Top shelf, I think, was just stuff that was already here when we moved in, so we just decided to keep it. The next shelf is mostly 2x4s and 2x whatever. This is the sapele that was left over from the countertops that we just did, that I don't know you're going to do your workbenches out of. And then there's just more fence boards that we're probably going to get rid of. Here is the planer with the in-feed and out-feed table. I guess it's a table. And here is the stand that Dylan built with the caster so we can move it around the shop wherever we need it because we seem to be running out of space. This is the old table saw. The new table saw is right there. And this one is going to the neighbor in a couple of days, I think. So that will be gone.
So here is the new table saw. This is a very recent purchase off of Craigslist, and I believe it's a great buy for what you're getting. You're getting a very solid top, both cast iron wings. You're getting a decently set up saw that just needs a couple things done to it that we have planned in the future, one of which we have already done. This is a Craftsman left tilt saw. You can get them very cheap online. So the two things that we've done so far, it's not really one, but we've added a link belt and we've replaced the motor with a much larger 1.5 horse motor. This motor is from Harbor Freight. I believe it's around $100 or something like that. It has increased the power probably 2 times as much, and we've cut through 8/4 sapele no problem with this now. This is our current setup as an outfeed area. We plan to build an outfeed table as soon as we figure out where the saw is going to be situated. Moving over here is our miter saw station. I don't actually own this miter saw. This is my dad's. I borrow it, but I do own the stand, which I think is almost more valuable than the saw. Molly got this for me for Christmas, and it has been a wonderful addition to the shop. Take it anywhere you want, and it's just as accurate as it is in the shop, which is just amazing. It's such a great addition to any miter saw you may get. Up here we have our metal storage. We're really low at this time. We actually have some on order right now, or actually just arrived. It's just outside laying on the ground. This is probably the worst purchase I've ever made. This is a Delta 6-inch jointer. I got it for too much on Craigslist. I purchased it. It was one of the very first big woodworking tools I bought. I paid $300 for it, and it's really given me nothing but problems. It's very hard to get parallel and everything. Yeah, I don't like this thing. It will get replaced hopefully one day when the budget allows for it. Here is some rough cut pine that we use to build some dining tables. This is a headboard that hopefully will get turned into something one day. There are these jacks back here that are really cool that we got from a flea market that I'm hoping I could turn into a dining table base one day. I think it'd be really cool. The skateboard stays in the shop just in case you need to bust out a few tricks. Without fault. You just need to cruise around. Because sometimes you just need to take a break from cutting stuff. So we're going to move this way first before we go back there. This has probably been the best purchase on Craigslist I've made. We've got this actually on a road trip, had to cram it into the back of a car, but got it here. This is a Delta band saw. Hopefully I'm going to get a riser block for it one day. The reason I love this saw so much is it's powerful, and it's got this really great solid base to it with a mobile stand. Mobile stand works really well, and the base adds a lot of stability to the saw because it's so heavy. The only thing I've done to this saw is I've added a 4-inch dust collection port here. That helps a lot with dust collection. As far as dust collection goes, we have this small rigid shop vac that's used with basically just our orbital sander and our track saw. Here is our dust collector. Got it on Craigslist as well. I'm starting to sound like Darista's video, and he said on the streets of New York. I get everything from Craigslist. He gets everything from the streets of New York. Anyway, I got this on Craigslist for really cheap. It's been really great. I got this off Amazon. It's a 50-foot hose. What's really great about it is when you turn it on, it actually sucks itself back together. I'll show you. It's really awesome. I got that on Amazon, and if you want to know more about it, I'll just leave a link in the description below because it's a really, really great buy. I love that. I can take it anywhere in the shop and clean messes up. So here is a Delta drill press that we restored. We were given. It's just a benchtop model, really old Delta Rockwell. Really great little drill press. A little catch-all table, which is good for when you're doing a lot of little pieces. You can set them over there. This is a cabinet full of drill bits, Forstner bits, hole saws. I think these are more Forstner bits, and then regular twist bits and brad point bits. Here is Molly's project today. She's making some little handles for her nightstands, so go check that video out. Now we're going to move on over to the main side of the shop, the main assembly side of the shop. So starting off at the workbench, this is a 4x8 workbench I built when I was in my very first shop. It's a really, really great sturdy workbench. I've got this awesome vise on here which will get transferred over to my Roubeau workbench whenever it's finished. This is just a wonderful vise that I was graciously given. Really great, quick release, all sorts of stuff. Just awesome old vise. Down below the workbench is where we store most of our bigger boxes with tools that we use all the time. Tools that we don't use the boxes for go up top, up here on these shelves we've built. And we've got our track saw down here. This is our Makita track saw. We've got the really long 110-inch guide as well as the shorter guide. Really, really great tool to have in the shop. Moving on over here, we've just got all of our tools on this tool wall that we made. It's got pallet boards back here. That just allows us to screw screws into anywhere we need to. We basically dedicated this spot to most of our power tools, which has been really amazing. We have our drivers down here, and we have our hand tools over here. We've got our chisels, marking gauge, saws, stuff like that. We've got our battery charger, our radio, magnetic strips here for driver bits and stuff like that. These really great from Dollar Tree actually, holders for screwdrivers and stuff like that. We've got all of our squares, levels, and various other little hand tools. We've got this great little piece of metal that has our tape measures on it. And quickly I'll talk about our clamps before Molly talks about this up here. We've got a whole bunch of pipe clamps. These are, what are these? I think these are, I can't remember what those are. These are 5-footers. Those are like 4-footers or something like that. We've got all these Betsy clamps that I found at a yard sale for super cheap, which is great. We've got a really great clamp rack here. We need to build a bigger clamp rack for all those. These hold all of our small F-style clamps, our quick release clamps, our spring clamps, and all of that. And here is just some random large nail, finish nail storage, as well as some bulk of screws. Down in that little hutch down there, we actually keep a large back order of every size screw that we might ever need that we can bring out into our sorter bins. Here are some trophies, some mallet heads, picture of us that was printed on, that we've actually printed on wood. It's pretty cool. And Molly will talk about this.
So we got all of these bins at Walmart, I think, and it's just for mainly small things that really don't have a home or that we can just throw up there because we don't really use them that much, and we just get this ladder whenever we need to grab something. We have like our biscuits and like hinges that we rarely use.
So I'm not a huge old tool, well I am. I love old tools, but I don't know a lot about them. These are the hand planes I have. I'll quickly run through them. I've got 2 jointer planes. I have a Stanley number 9 there with a sweetheart blade in it, pre-World War II. I've got a really old, not exactly sure on the exact date, I believe 1908-ish, something like that. Sergeant plane, and it's about 24 inches long. It's got a sweetheart blade in it as well. I've got a couple of smaller planes here. This one is not old. I've got an older Stanley and then a really, really old number 5 Stanley here. A couple of bullnose planes and a small block plane. It's nothing special. This is where we keep some really random hand tools like files and just extra bits that don't fit on the tool wall, and just miscellaneous stuff that we don't normally have. Down here is kind of deep storage, so like for instance we have a tarp and an iron from when we do edge banding, and just really random stuff goes in here. We've got this other small little vise, it's just handy for when you're using the hacksaw. We built this free-floating workbench that goes all the way around that's yet to be practically used yet. We will hopefully find something really soon to use it for. If you've seen in our videos before, we've had a computer here, but we've since gotten rid of that because we don't want the dust in the computer itself.
Here are some old doors that his aunt has given us, and we haven't really decided what we want to do with them yet. Here is some extension cords, and then there's our hose for the air compressor. And here's where we store all of our sheet goods. We don't really have anything that we're currently using or that's good to use right now. And then up there is just more storage that we hardly use, a ladder, and this was the old, whatchamacallit?
False cut sled.
Yeah, that.
So this giant, unbelievable pile of stuff is what came in the mail today from Rockler. I'm not going to go completely through it. You will definitely be seeing this stuff in videos because it's just such amazing stuff. And yeah, we're just so thankful that they have graciously provided with us with all of this stuff. I can't wait to get to be using it. It's just incredible that they have this much faith in us, that they're that invested in us. We cannot say thank you enough. I don't really want to get into everything that we got. Like I said, I'm sure you're definitely going to see some of it in future videos. We've got to find places to put all this stuff now. So that's been our shop tour. This is where we're at now. Like I said, we wanted to get this shop tour done now before all of this stuff gets implemented in our shop, because there's going to be a giant change. And we're very, very excited about that. We're so excited to see what the future holds for us in this shop and our YouTube channel and just everything. And we're just so excited. And yeah, we will catch you guys tomorrow because the 30-day challenge continues.
Mm-hmm.